Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from Goddess M, who says, "My parents ruined my wedding and I don't think I can get over it. My now husband and I got married on Halloween and I'm not okay with how our day went. We didn't want anything big, just close friends and family at the courthouse, dressed in costumes. There was supposed to be 12 adults and one child that was on our guest list. Let's start off with the night before. My husband got sick and he took the whole day to recover to be well. The plan was to get my nails done, have my mum French braid my hair, then go home, help him feel better and pack. When I got to my parents' house, my mum informed me that 2 aunts weren't coming and that she invited my cousin. I didn't want him there, firstly. Second, she told me as my dad was on the way to pick him and my sister up. I love my cousin, but I'm not close with him and he's an alcoholic that everybody enables. My small reception was not dry and she promised me he wouldn't be a problem. The reception was at my parents' house, so she was busy cleaning. I still needed to comb my hair out and she wanted to surprise me with decorations. Long story short, we're running low on time as it was 9 PM. and I needed to head home to sleep since our wedding was early in the morning. She doesn't start my hair until her and my cousin start drinking and smoking. I'm already annoyed. I make it home at midnight and still have to check on hubby and pack. I go to bed at 3 AM and have to be up at 5 AM, but I woke up 30 minutes late. I drive back to her house to get ready and help her get ready. When I get there, everyone is sleeping because after they put up the decorations, they stayed up drinking and smoking. Already running late and stressing because the veil I made myself wouldn't stay, my cousin starts rushing me. My parents start fighting loudly and I'm already exhausted. We make it to the courthouse, get married, and I got a handful of pictures, but everyone else is in like 30 pictures. I got one that I liked and only 10 were taken. We get brunch and only my friends are talking to me and my husband. Everyone else isn't even paying attention to us. My mum keeps saying, "I'm a mother-in-law today." My friends had to leave. They let us know in advance, so now it's just my family. My cousin is super drunk, won't stop talking. No one is listening to me, and the only person that keeps checking on me is my husband. Eventually I get overwhelmed and we check into our hotel and take a nap. 2 to 3 hours later, we head back to the house to give everyone a second chance. But they are clearly more intoxicated and loud. Cuss words are flying. My husband's trying to calm me down by telling me to start playing our wedding playlist that we made ourselves. The entire time my cousin is complaining about the music. He wanted us to play more hardcore rap. Now, I wasn't opposed to song requests and even played some songs he requested, but every song that wasn't his, he complained, asked me to turn it off, or asked why I would play this song. Our first dance was to "Can I Have This Dance" from HSM, and he asked me to turn it off. When we were ready to cut the cake, no one came and took pictures. No one was even in the room with us because my cousin was drunk rapping his hot mess bars. My wedding day didn't feel like my day. I had no say in anything. No one paid attention to us, and I have one picture. This was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, but here I am. I'm crying at 4:32 AM on Reddit. No sleep while my husband sleeps peacefully. Couldn't tell him earlier because we had to get intoxicated just to deal with them, and he already doesn't like my dad, so I didn't want him to say anything in that situation. And for me, it just sounds like you're done with all of this shit. And my suggestion would be, and I've heard of people doing this kind of thing before, like second ceremonies and just having one with just your husband the way that you want it. Just have the people there that really care about you, that mean the most to you, and potentially lowering that contact with those around you that are actively hurting you. I feel like I say it all the time, low contact or no contact in these stories, but I guess it's the nature of these stories. And I guess there is the potential to talk to these people about it, but do you really think that they're going to change their ways? But Potential Motor says, "I'm so sorry this happened to you. It sounds so difficult and I cannot imagine how hard it must be for you because of your horrible family who are full of themselves. I would suggest you talk to your husband about this, let him know how you feel and have a good wedding plan once again, but only both because it's not about everyone else. It's the bond between you both. If you want to, you can invite your close friends, have a photographer take some memorable pictures, buy a cake and cut, Have a beautiful ride or picnic or a day out, whatever suits you both the most. Fish Fountain says, wow, yeah, totally valid. Sounds like a crap day filled with entitled arseholes. So sorry about that. Also congrats, sounds like you have a good one. His thoughts are with your happiness and how to handle a mess together. That's good foundations for a happy lifetime together. The commenter quotes, the only person that keeps checking on me is my husband. Eventually I get overwhelmed and we check into our hotel and take a nap. My husband tries to calm me down by telling me to start planning our wedding playlist that we made ourselves, and then says, what next? Revel in your new married status and indulge in each other and plan a redo day if that would make you happy or a different adventure. The best revenge is success. The best comeback is no mind. My money is your husband having your back when you share these thoughts with him and a shared plan for next steps. Big hugs. E. Buffet says, sounds like you're the scapegoat like me. I decided to start setting boundaries with my family, which makes me even more of a black sheep. But I have more peace within myself now. It might be good to seek therapy. It's a good way to process this kind of trash behavior and encouragement to advocate for yourself. I'm sorry this happened. Something similar happened at my wedding and I'm still upset about it. It's been 11 years, but I've taken steps to ensure I will never be in that situation again. Congratulations, dude. I'm sorry it didn't turn out the way you had dreamed. Murphy Caper says, I feel so bad for you. The actions of your family were reprehensible. You should write a letter or email to your parents. It could be cathartic for you, and this will force them to read your truth, not be able to interject, contradict, or make excuses for their atrocious behavior. Be very blunt about how their actions and behavior affected you and ruined your wedding. Give specific examples so they understand the impact. As for your future actions, whether you choose to go no contact or low contact with your family is a personal decision. So OP does come in with an update and says, I posted here about how my parents and cousin ruined my wedding and how I didn't know what to do. So here's the update. After posting here, I tried to get some sleep but couldn't and ended up waking my husband. He and I talked and he told me he felt the same way. I cried all morning until he made me lay down to finally sleep. I maybe got 3 hours of sleep before waking up in incredible pain and feeling nauseous. We checked out of our hotel early and went to the hospital. Had the same sickness he had the day before our wedding. We went back to my parents' house so I could get some real sleep before making the drive home. We did not talk to my parents about it. After talking to our friends, we decided that we would redo the pictures next Wednesday and have a mini party to celebrate. My husband told me to feel my feelings but not to worry about it because he would fix it. I trust that he will. What I hadn't mentioned in my previous post was that this was my first wedding and we're having another one next year for everyone to come to, which is why it hurt so much to have my mum do that to me. Neither one of us are particularly close with our families, but as not to have drama, we decided to have a smaller, intimate one this year and the bigger, more extravagant one next year. After what happened this wedding, we both made the decision that my mum would never have the opportunity to do this to me again, and she'll have no say-so in the next one. We did eventually talk to my mum about her action, and it went about as expected. She made herself to be the victim and me out to be the bad guy. She used my aunt's passing as an excuse to invite my cousin. She also told me she asked if he could come, but doesn't see that she gave me no way to say no. She doesn't understand how she ruined our day. I'm sorry you feel like I ruined your day, was the apology I received. Eventually I gave up trying to get her to understand how she ruined our day and the fact that we weren't mad at her, just extremely hurt. I did tell her there was no way for her to make this up to me and apparently that was the wrong thing to say. I grey rocked her until she got off the phone and cried into my husband's chest until he made me laugh. As for going no contact or low contact with my parents, I was already low contact with my dad for things in the past and I'm currently low contact with my mum, but she doesn't get that. She's called me 20 times today alone and I haven't answered once. I'm working on processing things that happened in childhood, but I can't get over the fact that they are my parents. I know with everything that has happened, not even just my wedding, that I should be no contact with them. For some reason my heart won't let me. Low contact for now. We appreciate the comments you guys left and he really enjoyed reading that he's doing a good job. I really did pick a good one, and even though our wedding day wasn't what we wanted, I did marry the love of my life. He continues to prove that to me daily and I've never been happier. Unless something of more significance happens, this will be the only update. Thank you again, and I hope you all enjoyed your Halloween. And someone empathizes with OP and says, you know, you're in a never win situation with your mum, and OP responds saying, my husband and I started dating, he helped me start to realize how much guilt she's drilled into me. This was the first time in my life that I didn't allow it to work. It hurts because I've always put her feelings before my own, but I'm a wife and plan to have kids. I can't keep doing that. He's helping me, and as much as it hurts, I want to be better for our kids. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story from a throwaway account who says, best friend 28 male, never disclosed he was friends with benefits with the girl 26 female he set me up with. I 28 male am horrified. It's been 6 months. Things between girlfriend and I are pretty serious, and now I feel gross. And before we do get into this story, I want to give you a couple of warnings. There's talk of depression and mentions of racism as well. And it starts. Before meeting my current girlfriend, I had been single for a long while. I had several really rough relationships where we just didn't work, and it was sad. I've been on the dating apps and it was draining my whole will to date. Just horrible experiences, and I felt like I was just making myself depressed. My best friend said he knew this girl who felt the same way about online dating, had some really bad experiences and was perfect for me. We hit it off almost right away. Our first date was amazing. Our second date was amazing. We went from strangers to seeing each other twice a week. She asked to put off the physical part of our relationship, and no joke, for 2 months we didn't have sex. We didn't have sex until we went away for the first time. We're in a hotel room and it was so awkward. Never have sex for the first time when you are also staying at a hotel together for the first time. We got into a groove, and I think we both say that we have a great sex life. It's been 6 months. Things are going great. We had our first mini vacation together, and not long ago she told me she loved me, and I quickly followed. Cut to Sunday and my friends and I are talking. My best friend is busting the chops of another friend. It was in good fun, but he made a joke that our other friend took a little too seriously, so as retribution, he turned to me and told me that my best friend, the guy who introduced me to the girl I am in love with, was not only her friends with benefits, but they had one last sexual encounter between our first and second date. I nearly threw up. I know she had a friend with benefits situation, and after our second date she told me she wanted to hold off on the physical, but she was done with the friends with benefits and wanted to know if I would do the same and be exclusive. I didn't have a friend with benefits situation. I wasn't seeing anyone else, and so I was cool with it. I wasn't super excited that she was with a different guy, but it was in the past. She never brought it up again, and I was happy to never think about it again, until my buddy dropped that nuclear bomb. My friend could only mutter, "Dude," and got angry for being outed. He immediately texted my girlfriend, who blew up my phone. My best friend's thoughts on that subject are, get over it. He was angry that our buddy outed him, but felt that it was funnier more than anything and tried to joke we could share notes. I love my friend, but he is gross. He has a natural charm and can get with women, and somehow convinces them to do gross things. He will share bits and pieces of his escapades, and I'm now convinced some things he shared must have been with my girlfriend. He's got a huge dong, dear, which is another blow, given I'm average, I think. On one hand, he's fun and charming, but he'll openly admit that he likes his role as friend with benefits and isn't looking for anything serious, so he's not too concerned with her pleasure or making her feel valued. On the other, he's into some weird things. I haven't seen my girlfriend this week as we are both busy. She knows I learned about the background. She sent a long text on Sunday, and it's basically, "Yeah, he and I banged, I'm with you now, get over it, I'll see you Friday." I'm really kinda grossed out. The friend who outed the situation told me that I shouldn't get too upset, and another friend said that it all had racial undertones. I feel really gross about it. My friend would occasionally mention things he did, and now I can't stop picturing it being my girlfriend. Some dudes might get off on that, others might be totally cool with it. I feel super awkward, inadequate, and gross. So we have some comments which OP responds to. Someone says, if you had known about them being friends with benefits before your first date, would you still went on that date? If the answer is no, then I think you have your answer. At the end of the day, everyone involved lied to you and seemed to have no remorse about that, and were committed to continue lying until they got outed. Further, setting your friend up on a date, then banging the girl afterwards seems like a pretty shitty thing to do. Opie says no, I probably would have respectfully declined. Another commenter says to OP, I was expecting more apologies and shame from your girlfriend. She told you to get over this thing they purposely hid from you. They broke your trust and grossed you out, and now she is making you feel bad for it. Is that correct? It is a gross thing, and if she casually cared about how you feel, maybe there'd be a way past it. But she doesn't care, so these thoughts are going to stay in your head if you stay together. I know being alone sucks, but she proves you can find and attract people. Dump her so you don't feel like the pity boyfriend. Then sit your friend down and tell him that you feel grossed out how he did that. Cut him out if you need to, or keep him if he seems to understand he fucked up. Opie says she sent a series of long texts basically saying she was sorry and explained herself and what she had done, and then explained the situation and tried to reassure me. I didn't respond, and within 5 to 6 minutes she confirmed we are doing something Friday, and then said we'll get past this, let's look forward, not backwards. After that I made perfunctory conversation and she could tell I was annoyed and angry, and she said the above, basically look forward and not backwards. Someone questioned what are the racial undertones, and Opie says he's not white, I am white. Another commenter says to Opie, seriously, vaginas don't wear out with use. You know she had other partners before you, and presumably she wasn't your first either. Who she did before you and her were a thing shouldn't matter to you in the slightest now that you two are together. If it does, you deserve to lose her to someone who is ready to be in a healthy adult relationship. Opie says, yeah, I get the science behind vaginas not wearing out. It's not her being worn, it's the fact that she was with my best friend, a person who I've known intimately for years. I know his proclivities, I know the kind of weird shit he did, and it's not like it's someone in the past she won't interact with again, or have less interaction with. He's my best friend. I have to face that every time I see them. And one more comment with a response that says, this makes me think that you don't really care that they were together, but that you feel like you can't ever measure up to your friend. She said she cut off things with him after the first date. That means she liked you enough after spending one day with you that she cut him off. She also has been with you since. This sounds like you're already past her bar for measurement. At this point, you've got to decide if you want to work through this or not. She definitely shouldn't have hit it, and neither should your friend, but you can't change the past, and you can only decide how you're going to move forward. Opie says, what they did together was no doubt gross. I have no illusions, and his grossness is a fact of life. Would I prefer not to tread where he's been? Yeah. Do I feel like I can't measure up? In a very tangible way, I can't. The OP updates the post and says, thanks for everyone's advice. Definitely didn't break up. I couldn't go through with breaking it off. I read all the comments and had about 50 arguments with her in my head where I played both sides. Then I got ready to end it and dump her. But Wednesday she was informed that there had been a horrible tragedy that rocked her whole family, and she was just beside herself. She was so upset that I had to call out of work at the end of the week to go be with her. She begged me not to leave, so I told her I would stay. I work in a field where I'm exposed to these kind of issues on the regular, and was able to help her family navigate some common issues and help explain what happened. Her family is not really in a place to do anything right now, so I'm going to spend the rest of the weekend here as no one is eating or thinking clearly, and so they need some people who can help relieve some pressure. I had to call my friend because I didn't have some things I needed. So we went to my place, got everything, drove the 2 hours to bring it, then offered to cover my shift on Monday so I can stay a bit longer. That's the kind of thing that I meant. I said he was a good person. He'd drive 4 hours round trip and cover for you without expecting anything in return. Last night, girlfriend was going to bring up the issue between us, but instead of having a difficult conversation in the midst of these circumstances, I asked that we just drop it. She wanted clarity, and I asked that we ignore it and move on. Act like I never found out. She agreed to that. She's been in need of a lot of emotional support, and she really has been struggling. But throughout everything, she's taken the time to tell me how much she loves, appreciates, and cares for me, and has thanked me repeatedly for helping out. I was helping her mum clean up from a meal, and she thanked me for all the help and told me some things my girlfriend confided in her. It was very sweet and apropos of nothing. Her family has been incredibly welcoming and kind despite the circumstances. The fact that I only met them twice before all of this. It's a little weird to go from being at dinner at a restaurant and a family birthday to sleeping in their daughter's room and helping them understand complex issues. Altogether, it's really weird and our issues feel a million miles away. I feel awkward about having considered breaking up with her. I'd gone over it a million times in my head. I'm not sure how long she'd need me here for, or how long she intends to stay, so I guess I'm sleeping on her floor for a while yet. Does it suddenly not bother me? It still bothers me. Some people said that her behavior was inexcusable. Others said I was a dirtbag for bringing it up. I still feel like they lied to me. They knowingly didn't disclose what their relationship was. It had been sexual, and they were just distant acquaintances. Neither ever mentioned the entire time we were dating in the early phase that they'd been going at it. Moreover, we had spent a lot of time together as a group, and they just pretended to just be acquaintances. That feels really shitty to me. Really, really shitty. I still feel weird about being with someone my friend was with. I feel weird that we both know her in that way. I feel weird that her past is a constant reminder when we're together. When my friend came with my stuff, they interacted for a brief moment and made a feeble attempt at a light-hearted joke about it. It was awkward. I get that on the whole they are entirely wrong for each other and were just mutually bored. She wanted a relationship and was with him until the right one came along. Unfortunately for me, the right one was me, and she was with my friend. I still find it gross. But on the whole, I think I can get past the gross. I can get past the weird awkwardness. I have asked that this info never ever be shared with anyone who may not know. I have asked that the subject not be brought up again, and over text I asked my friend why he thought would hit it off knowing their history. He wasn't apologetic per se, more of a I told you so kind of thing, but did explain his rationale. I'm annoyed at my friend and annoyed at my girlfriend, but she needs support, and so I need to put all the emotions away. I feel gross and unhappy in some ways, but in others I realize that she and I have a great thing. We share a lot of goals and aligned on so many. I know she loves me and I her. I'll get over the dick size differential eventually, and hopefully she'll not secretly be harboring resentment that I'm not hung like a Clydesdale. So, long way of saying nothing changed, proceeding as if I never found out and pushing my emotions down. Best way to operate for me. A couple of comments with responses. So someone says to OP, it sounds like the lying bothers you. Don't let it fester too long. Either hash it out with both of them when the timing is better, or move on. OP says it does bother me, but I'm definitely trying not to let it fester right now. Right now, there's no way she has any emotional fortitude, and frankly, I'd rather just let it slide into the past and put it out of my mind. Let time heal it, you know? Someone says, you still need to talk to her and your friend about it, otherwise you'll bottle up all your feelings and end up resenting them, or it'll come up when you're upset about something else. OP says definitely, but I need a bit more time. I'd be more collected and cogent. And someone says to OP, staying because of trauma is not a good thing. You can support her and be her friend, but it sounds like you are not going to get over that dirty feeling. And going forward, that will resurface. Advice is to get her through this in a platonic way, then take a break. Are you both what you want? If so, start over and rebuild, but do it on your own terms, with complete transparency. OP says staying only because of the trauma would be a mistake, but without the trauma I'm not sure I would have dumped her. It's really easy to say, yeah, fuck her, when I'm shaving or in the car driving. There's another when you are face to face with someone and you remember all the reasons why you liked and loved them in the first place. Someone says, is it worth it to throw everything away? I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. And I found like one of OP's last lines there to be really concerning in the way that they said, you know, proceeding as if I never found out and pushing my emotions down is the best way to operate for me. It just sounds like you're setting yourself up for failure in the future, that at some point down the road that it's all going to explode. You know, I don't know if it's going to be the case. I can't predict the future, but it doesn't feel to me like a healthy way of dealing with things. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.